The 17th of October, 2017, the hashtag #MeToo went viral in Sweden. Over 11,000 Facebook posts, including the hashtag, was made only on this day. The 17th of October, 2017, was also the day when I had enough. I had enough of sexual violence and sexual harassment being such a natural part of our everyday society. I had enough of being scared when I was walking home alone at night. I had enough of feeling as if I need to prove that I'm just as good at my job as my male colleagues. I had enough of friends being raped. I had enough. I wrote my own Me Too Facebook post that day, and when I did, 2 men started to commenting in a very demeaning way, saying that Me Too was silly and that we should stop complaining. Both me and many other of my friends started to argue with these 2 men, telling them that Me Too wasn't just a way for us women to spam these poor men. It was a way for us to stand up for our rights and demand equality. But these 2 men weren't alone. I saw other men commenting in the same demeaning way on other women's Facebook posts. Then I got angry. I had enough. I want to say that I knew exactly what to do, that my first thought was, I'm going to start a demonstration, but it wasn't. I had absolutely no idea how, but I just felt a strong urge in my entire body that I needed to act. So I created a Facebook event. I named it Me Too Stockholm, and I wrote, "See you at Sergels Torg, the big central square in Stockholm, on Sunday at 11. After creating the event, I shut my computer down. The fear of rejection and that there might be only me standing there alone in Sergels Torg was overwhelming. The same thought was going through my head over and over. Delete the event. What if people would think that I was silly or stupid or ridiculous? What if they would laugh at me? What if there would be more men with more degrading comments? But then again, did that really matter? If I spend my life obsessing over what other people think of me and care about if someone doesn't like me for standing up for what I believe is right, what type of life would that be? Who was I if I let fear silence me? It felt like this old cartoon movie where the main character has a devil on one shoulder and an angel on the other. The devil was telling me to shut the whole thing down, and the angel was cheering me on, saying, "You can do this." I didn't dare to look on Facebook all evening, but right before I went to sleep, I looked anyway. 4 people had clicked that they would attend the event. Maybe we'll be 10 people, and we can grab a coffee together, I thought, before going to bed, dreaming about my failures. When I woke up Wednesday morning, I quickly realized that there wouldn't be a coffee shop big enough in Sweden, since already several thousands of people had clicked that they would attend the event. They have also started to ask all types of questions, like, do you have a police authorization? What does the schedule look like? And who will be performing? So many questions, and I didn't have a single answer. But I used those questions to put together a to-do list of things that I definitely needed to look into. On my way to work, I got a message. "Hi, my name is Gabriella Wilson, and I have also created a Facebook event for a demonstration in Sergels Torg on Sunday." The term "great minds think alike" has never meant more to me. I gave her a call, and we decided to organize the demonstration together. Once at work, my phone rang, and when I answered, a woman from Channel 4 asked if they could come and do a TV interview with me for the news. I said yes, and she told me that they would be at my work within 30 minutes. At first, I felt excited. Until the devil told me, "You're not an expert in sexual violence or sexual harassment. You never worked with these type of questions or know any statistic. You never written an opinion article about feminism or posted about it in your social media. Am I even allowed to call myself a feminist?" Yes, the angel said, "You are an expert. You have lived your whole life under the patriarchal oppression." It has happened to me too. That was the entire reason I was here in the first place. Because just as every woman around me had shown me the last couple of days, we are all experts. And all of a sudden, people all over Sweden just assumed that I was a specialist in the area. Women of all ages and all part of society sent me long and horrible confessions of things that they had been victims of. And men started to call me, demanding to know why I hate all men. Young women all over Sweden reached out to me and said, "I also want to do a demonstration in my city. How do I do it?" "I have no idea," I answered. "So let's do it together." I put together a Facebook chat, and every time a new woman from a new city reached out to me, I added her to the group. In the end, we were women from 14 different cities, helping and supporting each other in co-creating Me Too Sweden. For 4 days, I didn't eat or sleep. I just worked. Back then, I worked as a program manager, and I have to admit that my daily work might have gotten less attention than usual. But my mind and body went into some type of trance where all that mattered was a demonstration. Because the scope had changed. I was no longer worried that I would stand alone in Sergels Torg. Rather, that there would be a big crowd, but no content. Because I didn't have any connections, no famous friends that I could call. I was just a normal woman working in the tech industry, and I had absolutely no idea what I needed in order for it all to work smoothly. Like a stage, a sound system, and apparently approval from Stockholm City. All of these things was just stuff that I realized that I needed when someone asked me if I already fixed it. But this is where the magic happened. Because people started to reach out to me, asking how they could help. And I started to ask complete strangers to help me get the most random stuff. One woman who worked at the Globen Indoor Arena said that she could fix the stage, but she didn't have a way to transport it. So this other guy who worked as a truck driver said that he could pick it up. One man offered to bring his tent to protect the sound system if it rained, and I'm really glad he did. Because this other guy, who usually rent his very expensive sound system to music festivals, offered to loan it to us for free. Some people in the music industry were calling literally every famous female musician in Sweden to see who was available at such a short notice. And everyone around me offered to scan their network to find suitable politicians and decision makers who could be good speakers. I remember myself standing there that cold October Sunday morning, looking out over an empty Sergels Torg, thinking, what if no one shows up? What if everyone bails in the last second? But they didn't. In the end, we put together something incredible. All the people on stage, everyone who helped out, all the women co-organizing in all the other cities. We all came together because we had something truly worth fighting for. All over Sweden, several thousands of people were gathering in the streets. In only Stockholm, we were over 2,000, and over 1 million was watching it live on TV. One memory that would stay with me forever is one that a friend of mine was telling. She was standing in the crowd, and right next to her, an old lady was crying. My friend asked her what was wrong, and the lady told her that she had been sexually abused by her uncle for several years as a young girl. The lady had never before told anyone about this, until now, to a complete stranger at Sergels torg. After all those years of guilt and thinking that she was the one to blame, after being betrayed by a man who was supposed to care for her, she finally realized that it was not her fault. She was finally free. When the demonstration was over, I was walking home alone. My 15 minutes of fame was long gone, and a strong feeling of emptiness and loneliness flushed over me. What was I supposed to do now? I couldn't even remember who I was before I created that Facebook event just some days ago. I was filled with so much frustration and anger from all the horrible confessions I've heard from women all over the country. It felt as if I had been blindfolded my entire life, and now it finally fell off. I saw the world in a completely new light. My journey had just started. This was only the beginning. Because from that day on, I knew that I needed to continue to fight for equality. I've been doing lectures, writing opinion articles, and posting a lot about these issues in my social media. All those things that I thought that someone like me would never do. These hectic days back in 2017 have taught me many things. But one of the most valuable is perhaps that you don't need to be an expert. You don't need to be an activist. You don't need to be famous to be part of creating a movement. Anyone can do it. You can do it. And then maybe it will be the start of a new journey for you too.